and that has to do with the continued detention of Oloye Sunday Igboho, as well as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I will tell you something that I personally think these two men will feel like whenever they come out to come and see what the struggle that they were almost killed for, the struggle that so many other people were not so lucky and they died for, has become the struggle of we chanting one another. It's unfortunate, though. If you look out there today, even though, like us now, in Yoruba land, when it comes to Oloye Sunday Igboho, we know that most of those will probably feel kind of, I told you so. You know, that kind of feeling like, we told you so, are mostly Yorubas. So there's no point in going about to point fingers, you know, you are our enemy, you are this or that. But somehow, we were able to tell ourselves the truth, which is so hard to swallow for some. And what is the truth? The truth about Oloye Sunday Igboho's incarceration in Benin Republic has come to a deadlock, and a deadlock that is not hard to define. Legal means won't push them. Diplomatic means, which take control, seems also not to be able to push them. So people are now devising other means to say, you know what, why can't we try this or that, which most of them I'm going to share with you very soon. But the arrest of Oloye Sunday Igboho was a big blow to the spirit of an average Yoruba man and woman who felt it was the right thing to rise in defense of the vulnerable of our land and our land. That spirit, that motivation slowed down after Oloye Sunday Igboho was arrested. And that did not stop people who became inspired a lot. Most of them who have always been thinking of how can Yorubas pull this off in this quagmire, misarranged or imbalanced contraption called Nigeria. So they saw a chance and they helped. So immediately Oloye Sunday Igboho was stopped in Benin Republic. We were able to manage one thing. And that one thing is that we reduced pointing fingers, because it doesn't help anyone at that point. At that point, yeah, we would do and be glad to have any help just from anywhere, rather than dissipate energy on pointing fingers. You are the one who caused it. You are the one who set him up. You are the one who sold him off. Oh, they paid you money to do this or that. Even though we haven't really succeeded in this type of, arrangement yet, but it helped calm nerves, and people were able to walk behind the scene collaboratively to this point. Before I'll tell you what I'll say next. And the same thing was ongoing with the Nnamdi Kanu's case. And I remember I told many of you here, I said, even if the devil will give his left eye or his left or right yansh for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu to come out of the detention of these lawless people, which we would welcome it. That it is proper at this time to understand that the agenda is, is probably to kill the shepherd, strike the flock, and they will all scatter everywhere. And if we have to tell ourselves the truth, That seems to be working now. They are absent for Oloye Sunday Igboho has been in their custody for almost, for 162 or 163 days. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been with them for more than 170 days as well. Yeah. And it will be so raw. I mean, it will be so kind of be a lie, I would say, if anyone should say their absence hasn't affected the spirit of the self-determination campaign in Nigeria. A lot of scandal has happened though. So I said, we will not need to point fingers. It won't help anyone. Whatever you think you have, whatever you think or you probably believe you know, conjectures that people make up in whatever way, the only people who can come out and say, this is what happened. I have an idea to some extent what happened towards the what do you call it, the illegal arrest and detention of Oloye Sunday Igboho in Benin Republic. But I don't have much other than what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told his own lawyers. And I said, if you and I decided to choose a different path that is different from uniting and trying to build bridges, pointing fingers would destroy whatever gain we've all made in the course of awareness over self-determination, why it should be done, why everybody should be together, and the rest of that. But you see all those things I said then, they didn't really go into most people's heads. If you go on social media today, it is a terrible case, especially with the IPOB, Facebook, IPOB, the here and there. The reason why I decided to say something on this is this. Nnamdi Kanu, who happened to be primarily called the controversial broadcaster, because they said his words are more kind of, what do you call it, dangerous than the guns in the hands of terrorists in Nigeria. That's how kind of how dreaded it was seen, especially by the politicians in Nigeria. But somehow, it built a cult followership that for whatever provocation you could see, whatever permutation or any kind of what you call necessary provocation I prefer to use against them, they were never violent. Well, you see, the last what do you call it? The last 6 months, we have seen people who have completely somehow desecrated the same respected virtues that got many people attracted to the struggle of self-determination, especially in these trying times when those who are the arrowhead and the champion of it have been held. Primarily, people said, our objective should be, how do we use all pressure, legal, protest, and what have you, anything that we could put together and mount this pressure until the world attention is called upon what was going on. And we were winning. We were winning. It was a common call. And the conversation then was were mostly about, oh, where are we going to have our next protest? Oh, we're going to meet in London next week. Oh, we're going to meet in Washington next, tomorrow. These were inspiring moves that momentum we thought we're going to build on until these little cracks started pulling in. And we exposed this, and we exposed that, and we exposed those who sold our leader, and we exposed those who collected money. Upon all of the exposures, there's been none of them, if you have paid attention very well, there's been none of them that is charged towards bringing attention of the world towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And if you pay attention very well up till now, you found yourselves tearing yourselves apart. I was reading a post on social media just yesterday. And it was about some group of people claiming that Nnamdi Kanu's brother was the one who actually collected money and sold his brother to Nigeria in Kenya so that he can be the leader of IPOB. And people believed that. I remember the last time I spoke about this, some people said, what is your business with IPOB? Just forget about it. And I explained and I said, I am not a newcomer to the struggle of IPOB. I have been one of those primary callers, those outside the block, those they will say, waiting be your business way back 7 years ago. So I watched them go through all the tribulation, the killing, the jailing for over the years. And when I see all that is going on right now, I'm just like, when people sit down somehow to put together whatever they are facing or going through in their private lives, and they project that on you as grown-ups, ask yourselves, how would this then help uniting people, bringing people up all together as one accord and demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? In Yoruba land, our only little problem is that people feel kind of, those who are helping legally behind the scene to get Oloye Sunday Igboho released, they are having clashes of egos. Do you understand? Their own is that we are doing it better, they are not doing it better. They are not doing it right, this and that. That's the kind of things but most of it is about how to get Oloye Sunday Igboho out of that place. And somehow we managed to curb the finger pointing whatsoever, reduce and minimize the damages until we saw what happened between Ilanomo Odua and we saw what happened with Ninas. But in all of this, my primary concern is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still there in their detention. Oloye Sunday Igboho is still locked up in Benin Republic illegally. No charges, no nothing brought upon him. How can we approach the worldwide sort of awareness, agitation, whatever you want to call it, mobilize, organize, speak out, do this wherever you can, not where you're going to get shot? That's why I don't encourage a protest in Nigeria anymore. I don't encourage people to say, oh yeah, now go and, you know what I mean? Until when you actually calls out for a revolution, in a way, where you can get shot. So we have other ways of bringing, we were doing so well. I mean, we were doing so well. I remember when Julie used to be a regular on Maiyegun's diary, Politico. What do we talk about? We talk about the effort of people, how to bring people together, how to see beyond our differences, how to see beyond your ego, how to know that, what do you call it, freedom fighting, as they call it, should never be a competition. It should never be personal in any way. It's about do your part, not tear this down, tear that down. But if you go around now, people are now saying they don't even know what to believe anymore. Every day they read on social media, DOS is fighting with this one is fighting with that one. I can't know this is fighting with that one. It's depressing because there are real people whose lives, in a way, is attached to everything going on in that place. No joke. They want to see collaboration that is helpful. They want to see something reliable, something dependable. And I cried out then and I said, the only man who can tell you what really happened in Kenya is Nnamdi Kanu. And the only strength he has is you. And that strength comes from you speaking with one voice. Bury your differences. They don't take anybody anywhere. And if you look at it very well, the winner or the winning party here is Nigeria. Nigeria want to see you never organized. Nigeria want to see all this dream of Yoruba nation, dream of Biafra. They want them to remain dreams. So what is some said that some people are mismanaging money in IPOB. People can make up story and tell you they are mismanaging money, but you need to bring something even better out to prove that. And even at that, how should that, in any way be a precursor to getting Nnamdi Kanu out of DSS detention? How? That's something that I will ask myself, or I've been asking myself. The strength of these people. Somebody also asked me and he said, Maiyegun, have you noticed that apart from the fact that, Ilana Omo-Oduah, they still give regular press statements, counter responses and all of that. Have you noticed that the conversation around the Yoruba nation, the meetings, the all this and that, they've died down, even the campaign and all of that. Many hundreds of platforms that were opened. They were screaming Yoruba nation from the beginning of 2021. 80% of them have gone. They are not even like probably in existence, or they are not talking about Yoruba nation anymore. Those who are still there that should possibly be still talking about Yoruba nation, they probably have nothing much to say. And it's like there's nothing to ginger them. There's nothing to inspire them. There's nothing to touch. And that blame is on many of us, sincerely. Because, yes, the government of Nigeria achieved what they wanted to achieve. For some reason, they did achieve that. And that achievement is that those who are the arrowheads, those who are inspiring you, once they go out of circulation, that will cut the whole process by half. Do you know what is cutting the rest of the half? Your division, your attacks, your infighting. I will expose you. I will expose this. I will expose that. I am that. Some are even saying they are now Idu, and the confusion is so much that I was reading a thread where Biafrans are no longer saying, "Oh, you are DSS." No, now they know that this is real. This is real. Whatever is happening is not good. This is not good at all. When something happens once, twice, you may think, well, maybe it's just a flash, maybe it's just a reaction. When it becomes a constant that people are now building on it, people are saying, no, this is not good. No, this is not good. This is bad. And I'm saying it to you as well that it is bad. You will need to build. That was what Nnamdi Kanu was doing before he was kidnapped. Some things that some of us know, some of you know, especially after the attempt on his life in September 2017. And then he just, disappeared off the radar for almost 2 years. And then he resurfaced again. People in the know said Nnamdi Kanu has his own reliable contact all over the Africa. And you can't be a freedom fighter and not have all your contacts, people who can always get you out of a danger whenever it comes your way. But should you come on social media and brag about that all the time? And if one of those movements get caught up or discovered by those who are looking for you, and eventually they caught up with you, only you can tell what really happened. And I told people, I said, if we have any energy we have to spare now, if we have anything at all to really do to help, it should be how to keep the flock together. Tell them things that can help. What can they do? What can we do? What should we do? How do we go about this? These are the reasonable questions that people who found themselves as presenters on social media or even on radio or wherever you, these are the questions that you should be researching in a way. How do we mount this up? How do we put this up? We have a what do you call it? We have the generic audience, so to say, which simply means that if you want them to believe in because they believe in a cause, so if you want them to take a stand on this particular issue all over the world, it can be coordinated, build alliances. And when Nnamdi Kanu is out, because it's going to come out, do you get that now? It will be released. However, when it comes out, and it meets a united, strong home base, not the ones that has called themselves Sabo, Sabo this, Sabo that. So you be Mumu, you be this and that. I read all this and it breaks hearts in a way. Biafrans used to call those who are not Biafrans, who come there to try to mock them when you, before, right, on social media. If somebody says something about Biafra, the Biafrans will go there. They will share that person up, give that person back in. Yeah, well done. Holy Biafra and all of that. So if you now go there as a non-Biafran and you go in there to say, shut up your mouth, this and that, the Biafrans will come for you all together. They will, this was, this people, that they were. But the last 7 months, I have seen Biafrans tearing themselves apart. People say on social media, guys, it's beyond social media. I have friends here in Glasgow. They told me what this kind of division has done to them. Their own group in Glasgow. And these are people who are like responsible men, responsible women, people who have their lives, but they are so passionate about Biafra. How did they get interested? Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu spoke. When he speaks to every Biafran all over the world. These are the part of people who listen, right? But this issue of Nnamdi Kanu got betrayed, and you begin to mention names of people that you can't really substantiate, and grown-up people believe that. So it's beyond social media, and I wonder what is it going to be like when Nnamdi Kanu finally comes out and he says, "This is what happened." He's already said that, but as we speak, all these agents of confusion, that's what I call them. Okay, if you are within the IPOB, if you are within the Biafran struggle, and all your efforts has always been, oh, these ones are enemies. You're pointing fingers, and this goes vice versa. Don't think I'm speaking for one side, though, because I'm talking about all of you. Because many of you have already taken side in this case. Some of you are with the autopilot. There are those they call autopiloters. Edu, there are those they call Edu. So autopiloters and Edu, those ones are pals. And there are those they call the DOS. They have other name they call them. You get what I mean now? So those ones, the two of them, when they come across each other, they are accusing each other of the same thing. You sold our leader. This one say, you sold our leader. That's how they sold our leader. No, they gave this one money, sold our leader. That's what they do as we speak. You get that? It's so disappointing. So don't think I'm speaking for yourself. Hey, yeah, Maiyegun is talking about. No, I'm talking about all of you. It's so disappointing. None of that in the last 6 months. You know what that did in the last 6 months? It reduces, it reduced the kind of enthusiasm in people, the optimism in people. People thought if we mount the pressure worldwide, hand in hand, Oduduans, the Biafrans, all over the world, hand in hand, we can get the world attention. And indeed, I won't forget it. When this Nnamdi Kanu was taken to Nigeria, you know what he said? Yeah, you know what happened? Even when UK wanted to be playing corner, London was always busy protesting. Last, UK had to make a position. UK had to send in their representative. Even if they don't want to do it, they had to do it. This pressure died down. When this infighting started, people started suspecting themselves. And you see all this suspicion, right? They come from people who probably they are bored. They are looking for what to talk about. What should I talk about? I know that person who sold our leader. Oh yeah, where's my phone? Let me turn on my camera. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I have discovered people who sold our leader from his or her house somewhere in across the Atlantic. Somebody who read the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu like everyone else on social media. Now, suddenly, I've done my research. Oh yeah, give us the evidence of your research. Don't ask me for evidence. You are a DSS official for asking me for evidence. You are a Sabo. You are enemy. You are enemy of our leader for asking me for evidence. Like, come on. You can't be that dumb, are you? And the whole thing has now somehow, it's now hard for people who used to work together and say, oh, Biafra, now they are now suspecting themselves. You may not know the damages. People like us know the damages. And we say, enough. Enough. I'm talking to some of you are adults who get to be those will get to be those who are doing all those comments. I know some of you, the whole world is in chaos right now. Depression everywhere, lockdown here and there. People, and you know what I mean? Some of you, this is how you manage your depression, by projecting your fear, by projecting your mental problem on the rest of the people and repeat. Well, you know, once you repeat and repeat and repeat something, they will become true to you. You know what I mean? That's how it is. You keep repeating it, then you begin to believe it yourself. How could you, grown-up men and women, supposed responsible men and women, be comfortable with all of this? Now you sell our leader. The same thing they said to themselves. You sold our leader. You sold that. My friend, shut up. You don't know what you are talking about. Meanwhile, they both don't know what they are talking about. Now, people can't say, hey, Emeka, hey, Uzo, hey, Deola, hey, Kemi, are you coming for the protest in London tomorrow for Nnamdi Kanu and Oloye Sunday Igboho? You begin to, I don't want to go, John. Let the DOS go and do it. The DOS should go and do the protest. All these people that are criminals, all of them that are just stealing money, because somebody told you that. They sold our leader. That's why our leader is still in DSS detention. Are you not reading the news? They told us not to sit at home again for a bunch of, you know. I'm like, come on. We have been doing that now for the past 4 months. It hasn't changed anything. It hasn't. But you remember when we were all doing this, organized our protests, people were so determined, raising petitions and all of that. Even Buhari had to say, you, these Igbo leaders that came to see me because of Nnamdi Kanu, you are putting me in a very, very precarious situation. Well, we consider your request. Do you think it wasn't because of all your pressures here and there? Sit at home, this and that. You can disagree, I've told you. Disagree. You are not dumb. Disagree, but don't tear yourselves down. But somebody says, shut up your mouth, Maiyegun, you don't know what you are talking about. I know. I may not know what I'm talking about. But trust me, on this, if you reason them well, even you will know what they talk about. Apart from attacking yourselves, apart from tearing yourselves down, apart from threatening yourselves, calling yourselves different names, what else do you do to get Nnamdi Kanu out of that place? Nothing. And I mean that, nothing you do. Now, that's not helping. The energy you are putting into that is going to cut down the efforts of those who are actually doing something. If you value the life of Nnamdi Kanu, let us prepare for 2022. We need ourselves. We need to trust ourselves. We need to know that in this kind of struggle, right, there will be sacrifices. And all these sacrifices should be worth it if we are all bonded, all still together. You can't achieve anything if you think you are smart by destroying your brothers and sisters. What will be your end result? Nnamdi Kanu brothers sold him. Sunday Igboho was sold by all those rubbish. They are thought of lazy minds. In my own opinion, no, trust me, they are the thoughts, thinkings of the lazy people, lazy minds. People who are too lazy to think outside the box. What can I do? How can I contribute to this absence? I can't fill in this gap. But how can I get many of us to do something to keep this struggle going? At least reduce the impact of their absence. That should be something of anyone who really cares for either Igboho or Nnamdi Kanu. You get what I mean now? So, and I hope, again, today, the message will really touch you. Maybe before you type that next comment, abusing your brothers, your fellow Biafrans, accusing them of God knows what they have put in your head. Yeah? Whatever it is. Maybe you should think, just think again. I just watched Maiyegun's diary video. Maiyegun said, every time I comment and accuse my brother of a crime I actually have no clue, but somebody said they are criminals, and I trust that person that said they are criminal, even though it didn't give me any proof other than just foolish assumptions and the rest of that. Before I put this comment, let me just leave them. Pass it. When you begin to reduce that participation in amplifying that kind of division, right? Maybe we can pretty much use 2022 very well into mounting pressure internationally. That's what we've got. Mounting pressure. Make it impossible. Make it uneasy for the criminality of the Nigerian government to go on unchallenged. They're going to face a lot of challenges in 2022. Buhari's government, the politicians, and the rest of them. But why can't we just dedicate our own time into quadruple or quintuple that pressure by making an international pressure on them? Don't make it a beautiful year for them. They are not going to make it a beautiful year for Nigerians anyway. But you can't do that divided. I'm appealing to some of you who have platforms who do talk to people. Do your best and make sure, indeed, that your energy, your time, everything you want to contribute, wherever you want to contribute to such to this kind of a struggle, let it be about giving people a a sense of direction. When I say a sense of direction, let people know what they do. What can we do? That's the question people ask. What can we do? What should we do, Maiyegun? If you ask me, I'm not going to ask you to pick up guns. I'm not going to ask you to pick up what do you call it, bombs. I'm going to ask you to what? To organize, to mobilize, and to resist. You know what that means? It simply means put pressure out there, protest as you can, where it is safe to do so. The world sees you, and somehow it does work. That way, you put these heroes on the world map. Let the world know what Nigeria is doing to them. That contribution is priceless. It is something that when you do it, you are doing it for yourself, because indeed, it could be anybody. It could be me, it could be you, it could be anybody. In that regard, you are doing it for yourself, doing it for them, and that is a priceless contribution you can make. The other part is just voluntary. Oh, we need to raise money for this. Oh, we need to raise money for that. Those are voluntary. That's like you going extra mile into saying, I'm going to do more than walking out there to tell the world what Nigeria is doing to these people and my people. I'm also going to support those who are going to stand up back there, whatever it is, and the legal fee or whatever they are going to need. I'm going to, you know what I mean? People contribute differently. Those who are going to do that may not be those who are going to be on the street. Those who are going to put together the legal defense, they may not be those you are going to see on TV. But what struggle like this means is that you should always know that you have a part to play. And that part you have to play, once you do yours, everyone does his or hers, yeah, there's going to be an end result. The end result is you get what you want. But before you get there, the obstacles, the bumps, the roadblocks, the lacunas, and every other thing that could probably be your stumbling block on the way. These are the challenges. Once you pass them, united, in oneness, right? There's nothing you can face. And I don't know why people should dissipate much energy into tearing themselves apart. And I ask myself, to prove what? And to replace it with what? If you have nothing to replace it with, why should you destroy it? Or you just don't care? And when people say, I don't care, those are the people you should be careful of. When people talk and say, when you're talking about a struggle that has claimed lives, what people are asking for is a referendum. They are not interested in the current arrangement in Nigeria. They have the number. They said they have the number. Nigeria said, no, they don't. It's we have the number to challenge it and say, we want a referendum. If you don't believe us, give it to us. No guns, no nothing. Just let us decide. Check it. Try us. Nnamdi Kanu said if the Biafran says, if they vote no to referendum, if they vote no for Biafra, it's going to drop it, stop everything about the Biafra, and it's going to disappear. He said it. No war. Do you get what I mean? So we need to have that at the back of our minds wherever we do. Give people sense of direction. Sense of direction is when they say, where do we go from here? Some are doing it, and we give them credit for that. So far, so good. But to those of you who are still enjoying the media attention of your what do you call it, of your chicanery and whatever, right? All these things are timed. I have seen many people who have attempted things like this, right? Catching or try to take advantage of a situation only for them to just disappear at the end of the day. It is tragic. And I hope somehow today's preaching gets to you and you make an amendment. Be the change you want to see. When I say be the change, especially when you think those who have done you wrong, they have indeed done so much wrong. But don't be like them by tearing yourselves apart, making enmity out of your own fellow victims. That doesn't sound smart, in my own opinion. So I'm going to go make a tea. When I get back, I'm going to start taking calls. So if you have one or two things you want to add, I have used my own time. It is your turn. Until then, bear with me. I will be back.